Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles, now the Birds listed as a dark horse fit for former Defensive Player of the Year and All-Pro cornerback Stephon Gilmore. Doesn't make sense for the Eagles in free agency. Also, Philadelphia extending the contract for safety Reed Blankenship. I was away over the weekend visiting some family in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Did a YouTube short on that, but we have some more stuff on the Reed Blankenship extension as well. First, are you subscribed to us here on Philadelphia Eagles Now? If you are, you're a real one. We certainly appreciate you. So type real one in the comments section. If you're not, make sure you lock us in, hit that sub button, because if you want daily shows on the Birds, the best NFL free agency coverage, NFL draft insight, watch parties and live shows, we involve you and value you. If that all sounds good, this is the spot for you. As we approach 73,000 subscribers, let's continue to grow the Eagles Now empire. Hit that sub button, and with that, let's talk some Birds right now. All right, let's get it. I'm Chase Sr. This is Eagles Now, and today's show is sponsored by Roan. I am wearing their commuter polo right now. Roan has become a staple of my wardrobe. It can become a big part of your wardrobe as well. And you can get 20% off if you use the link down below, roan.com/chatsports. Use the code CHATSPORTS as well. You can get high-quality men's clothing. The fabric and the breathability, the stretchability of it is absolutely fantastic. What's also cool about Roan products, there is no need to go to the dry cleaner because the technology on their clothing items is just sensational with the wrinkle release technology. And Roan has products for every single occasion. You can host shows here at Chat Sports. If you have a job where you're sitting in a cubicle, you can wear Roan as well. If you want to go out, take some drinks down with the homies, or go out on a date to impress your significant other, Roan could check that box off as well. Also, if you want to go to the golf course, Roan fits that category as well. The best part about all of this is 20% off your order at roan.com/chatsports. You've seen me wear this shirt, the commuter dress shirt, but they also have some really comfortable pants and shorts. They have everything that you want and need. We'll put that link down below in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. Let's start off with an interesting conversation here about Stephon Gilmore, the former Cowboy, who has had an all-pro career, meant to say former Patriot, who, when he was playing with New England, really solidified himself as one of the top cornerbacks in the National Football League. And you think of Philadelphia right now, they have a need at cornerback, and Philadelphia is looked at as a potential landing spot because the cornerback market is certainly in an interesting spot right now. You had the L'Jarius Sneed trade. He's now getting paid $19 million per year. You had some other cornerbacks get paid some really hefty salaries, and where does that leave a guy who's going to be 34 years old in September, really accomplished in this league, still without a job, still without a team, but really fulfills a need for Philadelphia, and I still think he has plenty of gas left in the tank. Bleacher Report listing the Eagles as a dark horse fit for Stephon Gilmore. And Philadelphia right now has $31.8 million in cap space, and as I said, Gilmore's going to turn 34 years old in September, but last year when he was playing with the Dallas Cowboys, and before that, I thought he had a good run with Indianapolis, Carolina Panthers, and of course he became a stud with the New England Patriots. He's been getting the job done for a long time. That classic outside cornerback who can be on an island. He can flourish in zone coverage. He can flourish in man coverage. And him opposite of Darius Slay, I think would be an upgrade over Darius Slay and James Bradbury. Or if you're of the camp that likes Isaiah Rodgers, Kelee Ringo, and some of the other young quarterbacks on this team like an Eli Ricks, maybe you want to be a part of that youth movement. But the Eagles' current situation at corner, I thought Darius Slay played well last year. When he matched up against some of the top wideouts in the National Football League and he hovered over those players at the line of scrimmage, I thought he did play good football. He succeeded there and underwent that knee procedure And he even said, it's been bothering me for a little while. So even though he's getting a little bit longer in the tooth, he's probably in that last third of his career. I thought last year in 2023, on a disastrous defense, Darius Slay put some good plays on tape. James Bradberry is under contract. It's very expensive to move on from him. The Eagles do have young cornerbacks in the aforementioned Kelee Ringo, Eli Ricks. I like what they were able to show last year in a smaller sample size, and in moments they played well, moments they struggled. You can expect that from some rookies, though. And Isaiah Rodgers is a good player. I think he's going to have a role on this team, especially as a returner. And he does grade out well, according to Pro Football Focus. But Gilmore is more accomplished than those players that we talked about. And he's more dependable, I think, in moments than some of those other players, especially James Bradberry here. Now, Bradberry year in, year out, it's been fascinating. He's had one good year, one bad year, one good year, one bad year. But I think this Eagles defense is in need of a little bit of consistency here, and they're going to be depending on some players who are already a little bit unproven at premium positions, like a Bryce Huff, like a Nolan Smith. Can you depend on players who are a little bit unproven at cornerback as well? Or do you go the safety valve, the safety route, and you sign Stephon Gilmore? As for the NFL draft, that's a part of this conversation, right? Because the Eagles could very well go corner in that first round. Philadelphia and Howie Roseman can go in a variety of ways during the draft at number 22. They can trade back to assemble more picks. They can trade up if there's a player there of their liking and choosing. But I think all these positions are in play for Philadelphia, honestly, in the first round. Offensive line, guard now, Lane Johnson replacement in the future. You could go cornerback for the first time in the first round since Lito Shepherd in 2002. Edge rusher now that you moved off of Hassan Reddick. Defensive tackle because you're a little bit thin there after the Fletcher Cox retirement. You could go wide receiver because a legit wide receiver 3 next to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. That is scary. And we had this conversation the other day. What if Brock Bowers is available at 22 or he's available in the late teens? At some point, you have to plan for the post-Dallas Goedert era, and Brock Bowers is a generational tight end. It's all open there for Howie Roseman. And the Eagles have a Super Bowl contending roster right now. You don't make the moves that they did offensively, bringing in a Saquon Barkley, and some of the moves and the money that they paid defensively, if you don't think that you have a shot to win the NFC and represent that conference in the Super Bowl in New Orleans come February. But is this Eagles cornerback group good enough? There are question marks at slot. Is Tyler Hall going to be the option? Eagles have liked him for a while. They wanted to poach him off some practice squads. Last year with the Raiders, he showed me some things, but are we talking about him as the full-time slot nickel corner? I'm not sure. And then the opposite corner, opposite of Darius Slay, is a massive question mark, and maybe the biggest question mark on this football team here. So you address defensive line in free agency. You brought in Devin White, Oren Burks at that linebacker spot. You can still make additions and upgrades to this team via the draft, but it is a little bit of a risk because that player, how quickly can they acclimate to the NFL level from the college ranks? Of note here, the Athletic reporting that Jadeveon Clowney trying to recruit Stephon Gilmore to the Carolina Panthers. They are both Rock Hill natives. And there's also this as part of that conversation. Like Clowney coming off a career year, honestly, with the Baltimore Ravens, he wanted to get it back. And it's not surprising to me that he wanted to get the bag. But with a player like Gilmore, does an accomplished veteran want to go to a 2-15 ball club that has no chance of competing in 2024? Like, I like the hiring of Dave Canales as the head coach. He was the Buccaneers offensive coordinator, but that roster is not good at all. And for Gilmore, he can still get the job done as the outside corner. Coverage stats in 2023, very, very solid. And this is without Trayvon Diggs, who went out early with that torn ACL, right? So a lot of times, Gilmore was relied upon to be the number one corner for Dallas, and that defense was very good. And I thought that he succeeded within that role. Allowed a completion rate of 54.9%. Did give up 4 touchdowns in coverage, but on the good side, had 13 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. And over the last 4 years, you look at those numbers there, injury-plagued seasons in 2020 and in 2021, but with Indy and last year with Dallas, I thought that Gilmore played some really solid football. The top outside corners in this draft, certainly appealing here. But can they be ready to step in year one? We're talking Quinion Mitchell if you want to trade up, Terrion Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Nate Wiggins. We'll see what happens with Kool-Aid McKinstry with that Jones fracture. Cooper DeJean now saying today, and he has informed NFL teams that he is 100% healthy, ready to participate coming off that fibula fracture last year with Iowa. Is he a corner? Is he a safety, though? Really like the athlete, put some good stuff on tape, but obviously the injury concerns and the positional concerns, a little bit of an issue there, but I did report from the NFL Combine, Philadelphia does have some interest in him. With that, let's ask you this. This is today's poll question, also the pinned comment. So scroll on down, get your votes in right now. Should the Eagles sign Stephon Gilmore? S for sign, W for washed. Let me know. Philadelphia Eagles yesterday making another roster move in which they are taking care of one of their homegrown in-house players, extending Reed Blankenship. He's now going to be under contract through 2025. So that's 2 more years under team control. Yes, it is 2024 right now. For those of you who don't know, and I know this year's been going quickly. I can't believe we're already in April here. And Reed Blankenship is going to get just shy of $4 million in guaranteed money in totality for the next 2 years combined. That's pretty good coin for a UDFA. And let me say this. On the YouTube short that I posted, the hate in the comment section for a solid UDFA is pretty funny. People are like, he's garbage. His nickname should be Reed Blankenship. We're not talking about a first-round pick. We're not even talking about a second-round pick, third-round pick, fourth-round pick who you expect to have a vital role on a football team within this roster operation. With Reed Blankenship, we're talking about a UDFA out of Middle Tennessee who has very well overexceeded any expectations that anybody had for him. It's almost as if you look at the comment section, people were expecting him to have a first-round impact. He has already performed better, and he's already given this team more than what you would anticipate from a UDFA. Blankenship is a fringe starter in this league and a top-tier backup who can play in the National Football League. And when you pay a player of this caliber less than $4 million over 2 years, that's a good value deal here. You look at the Pro Football Focus numbers in 2023, I get it. He missed some tackles at points. He over-pursued on some plays, leading to some splash plays. He struggled a little bit in coverage from time to time. But there's some good, there's some bad with what he did last year and what he's done throughout his career in the first 2 years. He had an overall PFF grade last year of 73.4. Run defense grade is 61.2. I think he's better against the run than what those numbers show. Pass rush grade, 59.2. You're not asking him to do that all that much. He had a coverage grade in 617 coverage snaps of 78.0. Yes, he did miss 12 tackles. Philadelphia is a team about middle of the pack in missing tackles last year. He did give up a passer rating when targeted of 105.6. But he's had the knack of making some big plays with some good instincts, which sometimes you cannot teach. And the 3 interceptions, pretty solid right there. It's also important to note, and it's difficult to gauge, who was good and who was awful in 2023. Because the defense to epic proportions sucked. When you bring in an accomplished and an experienced defensive coordinator like Vic Fangio, you expect him to put players in a position to succeed and to maximize those players. And I'm expecting Vic Fangio to do that with a lot of the players on this defense who struggled last year, and I expect this defense in turn as a result of that to be much better, in a better spot as compared to 2023 here in 2024. Reed Blankenship's going to be a part of that. Right now, he's the starter at safety, opposite of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Those things can change. It's only April, many months to go until the start of the regular season. How would you grade Blankenship as a player on a Madden scale here? So for the gamers out there who like to hop on the sticks, you know what to do. Scale it from 1 to 100. 100 elite, 1 awful. Let me know down in the chat. Appreciate y'all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.